Yeah, I have a Voldemort wand. Why? Because it's the coolest one in the Harry Potter universe. I mean, like, see, it's made of bone and just all this type of stuff. I don't know. It's a really cool wand. Anyway, guys, I got a special review for you here today. I'm going to talk about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or as it's known here in the States, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I grew up with the Harry Potter movies. Sorcerer's Stone was the very first film I saw in the theaters that I can remember, and it's been an important part of my childhood ever since. I loved this movie, I loved the series, and it's definitely meant a lot to me through the years. But I haven't seen the movies in some time, so I kind of wanted to look back at the first movie and see how does it hold up. Well, let's find out. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, was directed by Chris Columbus and was based on the book series by J.K. Rowling. And as we all know, it's the story of the wizard Harry Potter who learns he's a wizard and goes to the magical school of Hogwarts where he meets friends, learns magic, and learns about his past, especially what happened to him and how he got the lightning bolt scar, as well as the person that killed his parents, Lord Voldemort. Now, the version of the film that I watched was the British version, which is Philosopher's Stone, as it's supposed to be called, not Sorcerer's Stone. And I also ended up watching the extended version, which adds about 10 or so minutes to it, making it a runtime of about 2.5 hours. And what did I think of it? I thought it was alright. It's really weird going back to this film and looking at it now, and it hasn't aged very well. It's still good, mind you, but there's just something about it that doesn't work, and a lot of things that ultimately don't work. First off, it feels like a 90s film that's trying to transition to the 2000s, which is exactly what it is, but it's in this weird transition period, and you can tell it in the film, where the 90s are trying to die and the 2000s are trying to come. And also, I noticed this, and a friend of mine talked about this, it feels like a TV movie. There's nothing really truly cinematic in it, except for a few cases, and we'll get to those, but it really doesn't feel like a cinematic experience that you're watching. It makes you feel like you're watching a TV movie. And that might be also that the pacing is just really bad in this film. I think a lot of the problem comes from Steve Klove's script as well as Chris Columbus's idea of just adapting the entire book. This is a very faithful adaptation, aside from a few differences here and there, but it is more or less 100% the book, and that might be where the problem comes in. It comes with the pacing of the film. This is, as I said, a 2.5 hour film, and at some times it feels like it. Now, enough with talking about some of the bad of the film. Let me get into some of the good stuff to keep this a little balanced. I really love the first hour of this film. The first hour of the film is just a magical ride of intrigue and just introducing you to this world of Harry Potter, and it's done very well. It's mesmerizing as well as just whimsical. That's the word I'll use for this first film. It's a very whimsical movie and just has a softness and lightness to it that I just love. It also, I do love the color grading in the film. It just, everything has this warm glow to it that is just terrific. I love also the production design. This film, just the castles, the costumes, just the look. everything is on point in this film, and it looks incredibly well done. But the cinematography does have some problems. A lot of shots have just this old feel to it. I don't exactly know how to describe it, as well as some really bad green screen effects and just effects in general that look pretty bad. Now, that might be just that it's in this weird transition period. It is an older film, but even back then, there was better effects than this. Now, as for the acting, the children actors, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, and Daniel Radcliffe, they do fine for the material they're given, as well as just their acting abilities. Emma Watson is probably the best out of them, but even she is not that great. She has a tendency to enunciate everything she says, which I guess could be represented with the character she's playing, but it does get a little annoying, and the actors aren't completely that great. However, the acting when it comes to the many Shakespearean actors that are in this film, Richard Harris, Dame Maggie Smith, Warwick Davis, Alan Rickman, these are all great performances, and they're played by very great actors, but it does become a little awkward when they have scenes with these young actors, and there's definitely a drop in quality with the good actors and then the not so great actors. Now, a lot of people say that the later films get a lot darker, but I would even say that this film is extremely dark. There are a lot of things in this film that are really creepy that scare me, even to this day. It's a little creepy, and the other films don't exactly have that. And certain scenes that I'm talking about, and a lot of it deals with this atmospheric stuff, is there's a particular scene in the Forbidden Forest, and I've noticed it a couple times when I've been rewatching stuff, and you can see Professor Quirrell slash Voldemort in the distance walking through the trees, and Harry sees him, and you can barely see it. It's barely there, but it just gives you chills, and it's really disturbing and creepy that something is out there in the woods. And it just made the scene when Voldemort appears in the forest just that much more terrifying. Overall, though, I really did enjoy this film. I just didn't love it as much as I have in the past. There's still a lot of problems with it in terms of pacing, acting, cinematography, effects. It just doesn't work as well as I originally thought when I was a kid or just growing up. It's definitely a messy film, but it is a delight to watch. And also, John Williams' score is incredible. This is one of the best John Williams scores I've ever seen. He just packs so much emotion into the scenes with some great music that, honestly, as the films progress, gets less and less magical. And that's a thing that I do love about this film, and I love about the first Chris Columbus movies, is they are magical. There's just something about them that the other films end up missing the mark on. The other films don't feel as magical to me, and this one really does. It has its problems, as I've discussed, but there's just a lot of heart to this film, and you can't knock it for that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to give Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone a 7 out of 10. I just wish the pacing was a little better in this film, but oh well. Well, some of you guys might wonder, am I going to review the entire Harry Potter series? I have plans to, but not exactly right now. I have a lot of other stuff I want to talk about, but Also, this was just kind of on a whim. I was in a Harry Potter mood at the time, just wanting to watch the first movie, and so, I mean, I've watched it and reviewed it, so don't expect a review for Chamber of Secrets anytime soon. I'll eventually get to it, but not anytime soon. Anyway, guys, with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Mischief managed.